Hi, good morning. This is the neck for guitar number 2, which is going to be the canal boat or Dutch river boat scene. It's one or the other. It's either going to be a canal boat or the Dutch boat. I've got my neck already cut and shaped for this particular one. I've done the markings to drill the tuning pegs. I'll just go through this again. Okay, the mark here is the centre of your nut, and from there to this first mark it is 40mm. Okay, and then from that mark to this one is 33mm, and from that mark to this one is 33mm. Okay, the depth inwards is 9mm, approximately 9mm. So we've got 9mm there for the centre of the hole to take your pegs, and 9mm on both of these. Yeah, okay, so there's your cutout for your tuning pegs. Make sure your work is the right way up for you. From the centre of your nut, mark a line straight across 40mm. From there measure 33, line across. From there measure 33, line across. On the inside measure inwards 9mm and put a mark across, and on the other end measure inwards 9mm again, and you can either put a mark right across or put a pinhole straight in. Okay, and what we're going to do now, I'm going to drill these. So to make it as safe as possible, I'm going to clamp the work onto the wood. I'm not going to use it on the vise, I'm going to clamp it on the wood there. Okay. Right, the pegs I'm using on these are good quality pegs, sealed back. Okay, and the drill bit I need to use is a 10mm hole cutter. Okay, so I've already got my marks. I've done a good deep mark there, so I can set the drill straight into the hole. Okay, and you get your pegs. You get a set of 3 or 6 tuning pegs, and they have all the components necessary. You have your pegs there, and you will get hopefully a small bag. I can open the bloody thing, but I hate these fiddly little bags. And you'll get 6 washers or 3 depending on what you're buying, and 6 screws as well for the job. 6 small screws for the backs. Okay, what we need to do now is just unthread that. They will be placed there, but they'll not be tightened up. So we've got that out now. Get your peg, make sure you've got the right one for the right side of your instrument. Tuck it in nicely. Stick your washer on, and then put your elongated threaded nut back in. just give you a visual of what the peg's like. Okay, so that's a 10mm drill bit I've used on that, and then we'll get a spanner, get a little ratchet spanner if you can, and do the job properly, tighten them up. I'm not going to do this yet because this is just pre-cutting. I've got enough work to do yet on here. I'm just showing you what to do. Okay, and then just test all 3 holes. They'll all be the same, they'll all be right, but there's no harm while you're here is excuse me, just running it through. Just make sure this goes through all 3 properly for you, for yourself, you know. Okay, that's fine. And when we do fix the pegs on properly, line it up as straight as you can. Get your point, pierce a hole there, and then get a 2mm, a 1.5 or a 2mm bit to drill the hole in. Don't try and screw them little farty screws into this wood without putting a pilot hole first, because you will not do it, you'll knacker the screw up and it just won't look nice. Okay. Okay, this is the neck for guitar number 2. I'm now going to glue the fretboard on. So I'm going to try it in reverse this time, i.e. I'm putting the fretboard at the bottom, and then I'm going to attach the neck to the fretboard instead of attaching the fretboard to the neck, if you get me meaning. Reason being, because there's an overlap on these, the fretboard is considerably wider than the neck, which is a good thing because it allows us to make adjustments. I want to be able to level it as best I can at the edges, because I really think if you get it well even a millimetre out, your fret wires are gonna look at a slight angle if you don't get them right. So I really want to get them as right as possible. So I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to put the neck on top of the fretboard instead of the other way around. If that makes any sense to you, it does to me. Again, don't be shy with your glue. Get it on everywhere, get it right on the edges. There's nothing worse than having that little bit of an air gap between the fretboard and the neck. Right, so I spread my glue on. I've spread it on reasonably thin, but enough. There's enough on there, plenty on there. You can see it's absorbed, the wood's absorbing it now. That's why you need to make sure you have got enough glue on your fretboard, really do. Or any joint, don't skimp on it. The last thing you want is your fretboards coming off or any of your joints breaking up because of the lack of the glue. This is that Gorilla Glue again. It's seems to be good glue, but then I've used that Unibond glue and that's good glue as well, so the choice is yours really. Doesn't always dictate. The more expensive it is, the better it is. You pays your money, you take your choice, don't you? Okay, so as you can see, I'm working it upside down this time. I'm going to and I've already checked that my the fretboard and the neck are level as they're ever going to be. That if they weren't, I'd just have to change one or the other, because leveling anything off like that is out of my range at the moment because of the lack of space and the lack of tools. Okay, so as you can probably see on the video, it tends to move. It wants to settle where it wants. You've got to tease it into place before you get your first clamp on. I think it just loves playing games with you. And I'm actually clamping it to another piece of wood, to a straight edge piece of wood again, and because I haven't got a big enough work surface where I could clamp it on and say, you know, that I do. It's the wrong way, Stephen. Get your clamp, just put your first clamp on just enough to hold it so you can actually still make any fine adjustments. And got your next clamp, again just enough to hold it in place. See, this is where I struggle because my work surface just won't take the length of the bloody thing. Okay. I can fine adjust that now. You don't have to do this with a tissue, but you know, respect what you're doing, respect your work. That's all I'm doing. The fretboard on. I'm going to do this time to try and make this. It's the first time I tried it, to try and make this gluing process a little bit easier with this slipping about all the time. Got my fretboard ready, and what I've done, I've drilled a small hole inside the groove there where the nut goes, and we're going to fix a small screw through. So you want the hole that you drill big enough to allow this screw to go right the way through. Okay, and then on the neck I've done a mark where the centre of the nut goes, and I've drilled a hole corresponding there. I'll screw this down now, but we don't screw it down just yet. I'm just going to show you why I'm doing this. So we screw this into the wood. That'll do for now there. And what that allows, because the fretboard is wider than the neck, it will allow us to centralise the fretboard along the neck, because that screw's now in place and it's dead centre, and it leaves us a little overhang. Can you just see the overhang on either side there? So that, having that screw in there now will allow us to straighten that up when we've got the glue on, and position one clamp at this end, then position all the other clamps. That is the plan. If it works, lovely. If it doesn't work, embarrassing. Okay. Line it up with a hole. And I'm not going to screw this down. I'm not going to screw it over tight. I'm going to screw it down so it stays in its position that I want it to. That'll do nicely there. Okay, now we can adjust this. Look at that, that is instantly where it wants to be. Okay, so now we only have to worry about the clamping of this one end at the moment. I'm going to get one clamp just for now. Position the clamp to the very edge of the fretboard and just give it a press, and as long as that's all tight enough there, we can turn it over now and have a look at the positioning of the fretboard. And that's it, that's the job done. So I can tighten that now, because I'll put the rest of the clamps on now. That won't move. Let's have a look, see how much glue's been. There'll be a bit more oozing out in a minute when we get the rest of the clamps on, but just give it a little wipe. And I don't know if you can see that, you can just see how it's even all the way down, as what, 1/8 of an inch on either side all the way down. Okay, that's been that's been set for only about 5 minutes. What we're going to do now, I've just took the last clamp off. We're going to take the screw out because we don't want the screw absolutely super glued in, do we? And then we'll just put the clamp back on, and then we'll leave it for the 24 hours. Okay, so don't forget, if you're doing it that way, take the screw out, otherwise you will have a bit of a job later on. Thank you.